Okay, my first question to you is, how did you become an actor? Were your parents actors? Were you just fascinated with acting? How did you become an actor?
Well, I actually became an actor much later in life, but my two kids, Jamie Michaels, who's an actor in California, and my son Chris Kelman, who's an actor here in the East Coast, they both really inspired me to be an actor. I didn't really get into the business until I had a really traumatic issue in my life. I had an open heart surgery in October of 1999 and almost died. So when I survived, I made a decision to do some of the things that I had not done because I was timid or afraid or shy. Acting was one of those things. So I got into it late, but I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, having fun.
Amen.
Have you done theater? Do you do theater performances, or are you mostly film and television?
Well, both my son and daughter, they are theater actors by fundamental skills, although they both do TV and movie now. I never really had a strong interest in theater, and my work is TV, commercial, and movie work. I'm shooting a movie this coming April, just a few weeks from now, called Bill Tillman and the Outlaws. It's my third Western feature movie, and I just enjoy that. I enjoy that much more than theater work.
Yeah, I see that on your IMDb page. So, have you done voice acting? You mentioned you've done commercials, so you do.
Yes, I've done voiceovers, and I've done several PSAs. I'm a very strong animal rights person, and I do PSAs for movements such as protecting the wild mustangs in the West, the wolves who have been persecuted all over the place, and just looking out for animals everywhere. But I've done voiceover work for those. I also narrated the movie Day of the Gun, in which I also played a principal role. But I narrated that movie, so as you know, that's also a voiceover activity.
Yeah. Do you have any upcoming projects? You mentioned, you have a film coming up. You just filmed. Do you have any upcoming film roles?
Well, I have the movie I mentioned in April, Bill Tillman and the Outlaws. I had two other films that we're actually going to shoot in February, March, but they're hung up right now on financing, which is one of the major issues that most movie situations have. I do a lot of commercial work here and across the country, and I am going to be doing some very soon. I just can't mention them because of contractual situations. Since they haven't been shot yet,
I understand.
They're very sensitive about that.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Non-disclosure agreement. Yeah.
That's right. But then at the same time, and you probably have seen me because I did 15 leads on Investigation Discovery Channel and quite a few supporting roles where I was the murderer, I was murdered, I was, you name it, I was on. But as a character actor, I typically look very, very different in everything that I shoot. So only my best friends tend to recognize me for one project to the next.
Yeah. Character actors blend in with everything they do,
Exactly. I mean, think of Gary Oldman for one. Robin Williams, bless his heart, when he was alive. I mean, these guys, Gary Oldman, he just totally amazes me from one picture to the next. He's just as a chameleon. But I think that is what characterizes most character actors. We're not the lead actors. We're the folks that have a little different personalities, sometimes an accent, some very interesting looks. I've had my hair very long, down to my waist. At times I've had it black. I've had it blonde, because I have white hair.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can dye it any color they want, and they do. So, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And it keeps you busy, you know. It's good to keep busy with it, you know, as long as you're having fun, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole aspect of being a character actor for me, is that you're never doing the same thing over again. And that was the reason I wasn't particularly interested in theater, because I know a lot of my theater friends, and I have many of them, and I respect theater very, very much, and theater actors. It's just that they're excited if their play gets renewed to run another 5 or 6 weeks. For me, that would be, I don't like doing something over and over again. We may have to shoot a scene over and over again until we get it for a movie or TV spot. But once that's done, you move on to the next project. And that's kind of what turns me on.
Yeah. What is the most challenging part of you find being an actor?
Well, I think that most actors would agree with me with this. No matter how much you're working, when you're on set, part of your mind is wondering, will I ever do this again? because it's such a up and down business. You can be popular and do 1 or 2 projects from that, and then the public forgets you. So I think the biggest challenge is just staying positive, staying optimistic, and staying out there working. That's the challenge for me.
Yeah. I've talked to a lot of actors, and they say the most challenging part for them is, not taking rejection personally. You go in for an audition, and, they don't pick you, and they pick someone else, and,
Yeah. But, I've been doing it a lot, even though I started late in my life. I've been doing it a lot, and I really don't ever take rejection as rejection. When I leave an audition, number one, I celebrate it. Whether I book it or not doesn't matter. The very fact that I was invited to audition and then went and tried to do my best, I celebrate that. I'll just, think of that and say, oh, great, congratulate myself, and then I forget it. Because after I've done the audition, I have no control whatsoever about whether they choose me or what. So as soon as I get home, I'm looking forward to developing the next audition or studying sides for another video audition, something,
Yeah.
So the rejection thing, people can just want an actor that's taller or one that has different color hair, or, it's things that have nothing to do with your acting ability. So I just always keep that in mind. I just have fun best I can.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about, to have fun, Really,
I certainly think so, yeah. I mean, why else do it? There's so many things you can do in life. Whatever you do, whether you're writing for a newspaper or you're modeling or whatever it is, it should be what really is your flame, the thing that lights you up and makes you feel great. If it's not, then you need to identify what that is and go and do it, because I don't know. I've never seen anybody come back to this life from dying. So as far as I know, this is it. And I want to make the best of this that I can. So it took me a long time to get into acting. And I'm trying to make the best of it that I can now. It's been fun. I enjoy it a lot. And if it ever stops being fun, then I'll look and see what else turns me on and go and do that. It's that simple.
Yeah. You have to have fun in your life, You have to have fun,
Well, there's so many things to worry about in life, and I don't think this is the best time in our history to begin with. So if you don't find things that you can take satisfaction in and be proud of and feel really good about, then then it's not a good way to wake up in the morning, you know? It's, what I like about acting is when I do it, I have a lot of control about how I do it. So, you know, there are a lot of things we can't control in the world, but one of the things that an actor does get an opportunity to control is the way he delivers his or her part. You know, that's what that's about. And if you do it well, then you get invited to do other ones. If you don't do it well, then you find a new job. Because that's what it's about.
It's that simple, you know.
It's simple. Yeah. They either hire you or they don't. And if you don't, you might call yourself an actor, but if you're not acting, you don't know what that means. So,
yeah. That's why I do my show, you know. I've been doing my radio program for almost 6 years, and
wow.
And
that's great. What excites you about it? What makes you really want to do it?
I just love, you know, I find the acting and entertainment process so interesting, and I talk to wonderful actors like you and many others, and, you know, hear their stories and advice, and I think it's wonderful for me, for a learning experience, and
yeah.
for the people who's listening to my program who's ever interested, you know.
Absolutely. I congratulate you. That's fantastic. I think the other thing that's really good about this business, Trey, is that most people that are in it, that are, you know, based pretty well, you know, they have a pretty good attitude, they're very friendly and they're very supportive. I reached back to an actor that I met on, I was doing As the World Turns, that old soap opera. I did a couple of episodes on that as Sergeant McGill back in 2009, not long before it went off the air. I hope there's not a connection. But anyway, I met an outstanding actor who was one of the leads on that show and has gone on to do many other shows, John Lindstrom. And I just was having a text message thing with John because I was trying to find out if a friend of ours still had a restaurant in New Orleans. So, you know, it was 2009. I haven't seen John in person for 9 years, and yet still I can reach back and catch up with him. I think that if you maintain yourself as a good person, helpful and supportive, that most of the folks in the business will kind of respond to that and be long-term friends. So it sounds like you found that to be the truth also.
Yeah, I still, you know, talk to the people I've interviewed every now and then. You know, I've never met them. I've just talked to them. And, you know, we're friendly, right. You know.
Yeah. So does your show get a lot of viewership or listenership in Mississippi?
Well, it's an internet show, you know, so people can...
Oh, okay.
So people can hear it all over, you know. And,
right.
I think, I haven't checked the numbers recently, I think we have like almost over 3,000 viewers. I can't remember.
That's wonderful. That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, you'll have to send me a note and let me know how my friends can listen. You know, if since you record it, maybe there's a way they can, you know, listen to it themselves. Because I had a number of people request that. And that's fun. It gives you some more listeners, and just my friends have a better sense of who I am than what they might normally have, you know?
Yeah, I'll definitely send you you know, I can send you a copy of this interview, you know, and they could find it, you know, on the internet.
Yeah.
And
that's great. That would be perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, my last question is what is your advice for people who want to be an actor? I know we've talked about this a little bit through our conversation. Do you have any other advice?
Oh, yeah. It's something that I feel very strongly about.